I want to share with you something really, really important. I have cracked the code. I have devoted my life to learning how to heal. And I believe it's two things. It's just two things. One, loving yourself, and two, healing that nervous system. Most people have a dysregulated nervous system. It's just a product of living in this modern Western world. I'm not going to talk a lot about that in this video, but if you go to my website to the free members only area, rachelhopehealing.com, I have several videos on how to heal your nervous system, and I will be uploading some to YouTube as well. But the main thing I want you to get about the nervous system is when it's dysregulated, the body literally cannot heal. The body is favoring surviving over healing. So we need to create an internal environment to heal. Most people live about 70% of their life in a dysregulated nervous system state, 70%. So consider that you might need to work on your nervous system, as most people do, but that's not the focus for today. What I really want to talk to you today about is loving yourself. What does that even mean? Most of us get love from external achievements and validation. We give love to our partners, to our pets, to our friends and our family, but that concept of giving it to ourselves can be kind of foreign because most of us didn't have parents that knew how to do that. And love is a skill. Loving yourself is a skill. And to learn how to love yourself, I highly recommend that you form a relationship with your inner child. Yes, you have a little child inside of you. And I say a little child to make it easy to talk about, but really it's children. We all have multiple parts of us on the inside. These parts of us hold a lot of the limiting beliefs from difficult childhood experiences. They also hold a lot of the positive aspects that maybe we've suppressed and don't allow to come out anymore, like playfulness and silliness, being curious and spontaneous and adventurous, right? So the inner child really is the key to a lot of our happiness and a lot of our adult issues, because our inner child holds a lot of the limiting beliefs that keep playing out in our adult lives. I'll talk more about that in other videos, but what I really want to talk to you today about is how the inner child is real, how I know this, and some simple ways that you can start loving yourself and loving your inner child today. And so let's go back many years. Let's say it's about 10 years. I had a heartbreaking relationship. The breakup just gutted me. It destroyed me. I never knew what heartache was until this relationship. I actually sought out help. And two mentors helped me to understand that I was replaying childhood dynamics with my romantic partners. Stuff with my dad. Different experiences, but the similar sort of emotional landscape. And so I was determined to not have that experience again. And so I dove into inner child healing. I didn't really understand it from what the mentors told me. I read some books. Still didn't totally get it until I just really started going inside. Hey, is there someone inside who wants to talk? And to my astonishment, there was, and I could hear her. And I was surprised about what she had to say, because I had been on a transformational journey for a long time at that point. I was already at least 15 years into workshops and seminars and books, and I thought I'd really shifted my self-esteem and self-worth. But boy, she did not feel good about herself. From a lot of abuse and neglect and abandonment, she internalized all of that and did not feel so good about herself. And so I started giving her the love and the support that she needed. My mom was a really loving mom, but there's a lot of things she didn't know how to teach me. My dad was a mean, scary man, and he took off when I was about 14, and I didn't get any guidance or love from him. And that's the source of a lot of my inner child's problems, is the way that she was treated by him. So I started being the new mom, the new unconditionally loving, supportive mom, and teaching her what she needs to know, teaching her what's not okay, teaching her what's acceptable. At that time in my life, it was really hard for me to stand up for myself. I kind of considered myself a doormat. As much as I had worked on it in all the workshops and seminars, sometimes I just let people use me. And a couple weeks after I had been teaching my inner child that she's important, she's valuable, her needs, her energy, her time, her money is just as important as anybody else. She doesn't owe anybody anything. She could say no. Kind of radical concepts for me at the time, but cognitively I knew they were true. Just emotionally, when triggers kicked in, it was hard to act on those sort of empowered views. As it is for most people, when the subconscious gets triggered, we're going to go what's in the subconscious programming, even if we've consciously decided to do something else. That's why I love inner child healing, is we're going to the subconscious root of what we're suffering from, what our problems are. And so I had told her that it's not okay for people to take advantage of her, my beautiful inner child. And then I noticed that I had let a friend take advantage of me. I allowed it in the moment. But I was expecting him to clean it up, and he didn't. And so, yes, I allowed it in the moment, but then I noticed later on, wow, that didn't feel good. I need to say something to this friend. And that's not something that I ever would have done in the past, but this like mama bear energy came up in me. I'm like, oh, it's not okay what happened. I really need to speak up. And he responded really well. He was like, yeah, you're right. Let me take you to dinner and make up for this. And that was a huge win for me, a huge win. And I never had that capacity before. And it came from just a couple weeks of working with my inner child, that part of herself who didn't feel so good. It's hard to have boundaries. It's hard to stand up for yourself if you don't feel very good about yourself. So I was pretty blown away. I was like, wow, this is real. There's something to this. And then fast forward a couple months, and remember the heartache, the breakup I was just mentioning? Well, this man wanted to come over. He wanted to talk. And my inner child felt very, very hurt by the circumstances of our breakup. So she was not so sure that she wanted him to come over. And I promised her we're just going to talk. Well, I ended up making out with this man. And as soon as he left, I knew I had broken my promise with my inner child, and I needed to check in with her right away. And she was upset. I heard a very loud, "I'm confused," and I got dizzy. I kind of felt like I was drunk and nauseous. I felt really, really sick. And I was blown away by that. Wow. This is real. She is real. She's real, and she can make me sick. I can't believe this. Like, I'm smiling right now, but it's not because I'm glad that she got hurt. It was just this huge realization of like, I'm on the right track. Like, there is something to this. And I really needed this information because part of an awakening experience that I had working with plant medicine in Peru was that there was a lot of abuse that I didn't remember. And I was starting to remember it, and it was starting to come out. And so, how do I work with these parts of myself that I don't even remember? We could call them disassociated parts. Well, I'd use the same technique with working with my inner child. Is there somebody there? Is there somebody who needs to talk? And I discovered there were lots of parts of myself that I didn't even know were there. And these parts of myself learned that they could get my attention. They could even kind of move my hand or move my head a little bit to let me know, like, hey, I'm real and I'm here and I need your help. So these are really personal stories that I didn't think I was ever really going to share with the world, but I want you to know that the inner child is real, okay? And she needs your love, and he needs your love, you know? And so what I really recommend is to embody this we perspective, that it's no longer you navigating life, it's we. Like, you are the new parent and you have all the children to take care of. So what should we do today? What do we want to eat for dinner? Where should we go on our walk, right? And always, always speaking to yourself with kindness and love. There is always a little child listening. And they have been through enough already, right? And sometimes we're harsh and critical on ourselves, more critical than we even are of others. just recognize that these are looped patterns. These are probably negative things from the past that caregivers have said. So you can just notice it and stop and give yourself something kind and loving, like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I love you. I'm proud of you. We're gonna figure this out. I like who you are. I like who you are as a person. Like, always talk to yourself like that, with tenderness and compassion. You don't need any more criticism or harsh words. And that can be hard to do sometimes if we've gotten really triggered, if we're really stressed out. And so that's another reason to work on the nervous system, so we have more resilience, so that we can get a little bit of a trigger and get a little bit of a stress, but not be full blown in the trigger response. Because when we are full blown, we have age regressed and there is no adult left, and it is an 8-year-old and she is upset, or he is angry, or he's sad, or she's lonely, right? And so we want to create resilience with our nervous system so that we have more bandwidth when we get stressed, so our thoughts don't become negative toward ourselves, right? And we want to also feel love, feel elevated emotions toward ourselves. It's not enough just to say, hey, I love you, you're beautiful, you're awesome. We want to feel that. We want to really, really feel that. When you're telling yourself new positive things, if you pair it with the elevated emotions, it makes it way stronger, way more impactful. If you say it neutrally or on autopilot, the brain is like, yeah, maybe. But if you're like, whoa, honey, I love you. I love you. You are so important. You are so special, right? Say it with tenderness and love like that. The brain is like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to take that in. So this applies to also when we're really stressed. If we're really stressed and trying to say, you're okay, you're all right. The brain is like, no, I feel the anxiety, I feel the frustration, I'm not okay, right? So again, we want to regulate that nervous system so we can recover from stresses and triggers faster, get into a more grounded, calm, neutral state in our body. And so be very mindful of the kind of thoughts that you have towards yourself, the things that you say. Don't joke around. The subconscious is very literal, and the inner child will take in everything that you have to say, okay? Don't call yourself names. Don't make jokes at your expense. Just be loving and kind. Speak to yourself as you would a little kid. You're not going to belittle or criticize a little kid. You're going to give them love and encouragement. Like, you got this. I'm proud of you. We're doing this. This is loving yourself, right? This is being that cheerleader, but not just saying the words, feeling it like, oh, honey, I love you. And making a relationship with that cutie pie little 8-year-old inside really helps us, because they are cute. Of course they are cute. And if you're not sure that your inner child is cute, just take it from me, I guarantee that they are. All kids are precious and lovable and beautiful. I mean, all people are. But it's just sort of easier to see that in kids, just as it's easier to see that and feel that in our companion animals. And so if you're having a hard time feeling that love toward yourself, I hope you have an animal in your life teaching you about love. Okay, feel that love you have in your heart. Feel that love in your body that you have for your special animal. And if you don't have a special animal, hopefully you have a special person, or maybe it's a spiritual love, but feel that love in your heart and in your body and direct it toward your inner child. I guarantee you, she is just as beautiful and precious as your cutie pie cat, as your dog. The only reason you might have resistance to that is because the adults didn't do a good enough job of making you feel important and special and lovable. And there could be an inner child inside who's like, no, I don't think so. But this inner child is doing that to keep you safe in their own young, sort of misguided way of like, no, I don't think so. And so take that leap of faith that you are cute, you are adorable, you are special, okay? Direct that love toward yourself. So we're directing the love toward ourselves. We are speaking kindly about ourselves. And when you are upset, when you're emotional, this is a great time to give yourself love. Don't just pick up the phone and scroll. Don't reach for some ice cream. Give yourself love. Oh, honey, this is hard. You might even look in the mirror. When I'm really feeling it and I go to the bathroom, I make myself look in the mirror. I witness my tears and I see the little girl. I see that sensitive, vulnerable little girl. Honey, this is hard. I get that. I'm sorry this is so hard. Well, I'm here with you. I love you. I love you, Rachel. And we're gonna get through this. This is the way I talk to myself when I'm really hurting. I recommend that you try that as well. Be the new parent, okay? And I have my childhood stuffed animal here to kind of model for you. If you're really feeling hurt, grab a stuffed animal and hold them. And tell your inner child, this is you. This is me loving you. I love you so much. I love you. We're here, honey. Get in bed, snuggle, listen to music, watch cartoons. But it's like I can feel the hormones being released, even though this is a stuffed animal. It's like I'm feeling that oxytocin and that serotonin from snuggling monkey. There's so many aspects of self-love. I have a wonderful article on my blog, on my website, 10 different ways to love yourself. But I would say at the foundation, it's being kind to yourself, feeling the love for yourself, comforting yourself with no judgment, compassion and validation. This is hard. Of course you're upset about that. And then having good boundaries. Having good boundaries with others, good boundaries with yourself. Sometimes the inner child is going to want to just lay around, but you know that you have goals, health goals. So you might need to be that sort of loving discipline of like, okay, I know we don't feel like it, but we're going to get up and do our workout. Or I know we don't feel like it, but I'm the one that's going to get us through that shower. You know, I'm going to make sure we go for that walk. I'm going to make sure we have at least one vegetable today, right? You may not be feeling like it and you don't want it, but that's that loving parent inside to say, okay, I get it, but we're still going to do that. And boundaries with others. Nobody is entitled to your time, energy, money, body, anything, and you can always say no. But sometimes that's scary and risky, right? We don't want to lose love. We don't want to lose a connection. We don't want someone to be mad at us. How scary is that? It's actually not that big of a deal as adults, but when we were kids, it was a matter of survival and life and death, and that same sense of urgency really follows us, right? So when you need to tell somebody no, and you want to change your mind, if you need to tell someone a boundary and you feel some resistance, there's an inner child inside who doesn't feel safe about it. Talk to them. Whew, I know this feels scary, but this is the right thing for us. This is me taking care of us. This doesn't feel good to us and we want to say no, and so I will say no. And even if they get upset, doesn't mean we did anything wrong. Okay? I will be here to comfort you afterwards. I love you. I love you, honey. When we love ourselves, we create the foundation for healing. I remember working with a client over and over again with emotional healing sessions I do with the body code and the emotion code, working on her digestion, and it just wasn't getting better. And then she revealed to me that as a former model, she was very, very critical of herself and critical of her belly. And so we did an inner child healing session where we talked to her belly. And she gave apologies and love, and I'm sorry I've treated you like that. You are beautiful. This is a healthy woman body that we have. You know, it's okay to have some curves, and I love you, and I'm sorry. And then her digestion healed. It got better. It was that negativity toward herself. And I say that all of your cells in your body are a bunch of little children. Okay, every cell is another inner child. All cells have consciousness. And so you want to treat your body with kindness as well. You know, the cells hear everything. And everything you say is a chance for the cells to like flourish and like get healthy and happy, or they can kind of shrink and lose vitality. I mean, science has even shown this, right? That our cells respond to our thoughts and our emotions. And so let me know what questions you have. Let me know what you want me to make content about. Writing it, articles, videos, short videos. Let me know what you want to hear. I've devoted my life to healing. I've been on this healing path for a couple decades, but especially the last 15 years. And so let me know. I'm here to help. This is a life mission for me. This is important to me. It's valuable because when you do better, we all do better. Ultimately, I think there's really only one of us. And so I'm here to help. I'm here to support. I want us to all do better. I want the planet to be happier and healthier. I want the consciousness to raise. Humans have suffered enough. It's time for us to feel better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.